Success isn't measured by how many places that you've been, but it will be measured by who is standing beside you whenever you get there. What's going on, everybody? My name is Daniel Jones, and welcome to DJFILMIT. I'm a filmmaker and a photographer based out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And first of all, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. This channel is going to look a little different than a lot of other filmmaking and photography channels that you've probably been accustomed to seeing. And yes, we're going to talk about cameras. Yes, we're going to talk about the gear, all things creative. But this channel exists because of something much deeper than filmmaking. It exists because of family. And for those of you who don't know me, I serve full-time as a film director for a large ministry. And it has been one of the greatest honors of my life to serve God in this capacity. And I truly do believe that God has called me into this work. And I love what I get to do. You know, and even being involved in ministry as a kid, I definitely found there was a common denominator amongst a lot of people who believe that they've been called to this work. And honestly speaking, this work is very fulfilling, but it can be extremely sacrificial. And over the years, God just began to shine his light on some areas of my life that I was ignorant of, that he wanted me to begin paying attention to. And one of the main things God began pointing out to me was the patterns of my life, the repetitive cycles of working extremely long hours, trying to provide faithfully for my family, while also trying to honor the responsibilities at work. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, I slowly began sacrificing the people I love the most. You know, if I worked, I wasn't home. And if I was home, I felt the pressure of not making enough. And honestly, that isn't a healthy way to live, and nor is it a healthy way to lead a family. And one thing God has corrected me about is that my first ministry is not a camera. It isn't a career. It isn't even work for the kingdom. My first ministry is my wife and my children. And 10 years from now, the people who remember everything I sacrificed won't be the people I worked for. It'll be my family. And they probably won't remember it with smiling faces. They'll simply remember that I wasn't around. And so that realization definitely changed me. And I don't say any of this to criticize ministry at all, because I love ministry, and ministry is everywhere I go. And so if it was up to me, one of my biggest desires is to eventually never have the need to pull financially from the ministry work that I do. And so that conviction definitely hit me very deep, and that conviction sent me straight to prayer. And I just began to cry out to God for wisdom. And I didn't cry out for more money. I didn't cry out for another opportunity. I began to cry out to God for strategy. God, help me to spend more time with my family. Help me to truly put them as my first ministry, you know, underneath my relationship with you. But also, not at the expense of never being able to do anything for you outside of making sure that that is in order. God, is there a way that these things can work together? Can they even coexist? God, give me a way to marry both together, purpose and provision at the same time. And that is where this channel was born. Not because I wanted to become a YouTuber, but because I wanted to buy my time back so I could begin fixing the things that God desired for me to put back in order. Time with my wife, time with my kids, time of making memories instead of always missing them. This channel's birth became a picture of freedom for me and an opportunity to present God with a new basket for him to fill. This strategy became digestible enough for me to see my family come alongside the journey with me instead of leaving them behind while I walk it. And for the first time, I could actually see a future where what I'm called to do doesn't necessarily always have to pull me away from my first ministry, and that presence and provision can actually exist together. So that's why this channel was born, but its mission isn't just to be another filmmaking and photography channel. This channel will exist for creatives current or aspiring, but that know they have something greater on the inside of them. Maybe you are a filmmaker, photographer, designer, content creator. Maybe you've never done any of this before in your life, but you really feel like God is stirring your heart up to serve him in this capacity in the creative space. I want this channel to be a resource for you. Maybe you're scared. Maybe you don't know where to begin. Maybe everyone around you thinks your dream is actually crazy. I want to teach you what I'm learning. I want to show you the wins, the failures, the behind the scenes, the faith, the lessons. And my hope is that it will give you the confidence to step into what God has placed on the inside of you. Because I genuinely believe that there are people watching this who are carrying ideas that the world desperately needs. And there are stories that only you can tell, businesses that only you can build, and films that only you can create, and people that only you can reach. And the creative industry doesn't need another copycat of someone else. It needs what God has placed on the inside of you. And so if this channel helps thousands of people, praise God. But honestly, if it only helps one person find the courage to obey what God has been speaking to them, it still would have been worth it. And so thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. And out of every video that I'll ever upload, this one might be the most important, because before you ever see my work, I wanted you to know my heart. So if you'd like to follow this journey with me, I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and come along as we see where God leads this adventure. And I truly believe we're just getting started. Let's tell and support stories that matter. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome to DJ Film It.